You said, what up, bitch? That's how we're starting off. I don't care about the YouTube rules, bro.
Fuck all that. Get my Pulp Fiction on real quick.
All right, welcome back. Episode 38 of Say What's Real. I'm your host, Mellow15, and sitting across from me
is the Random Effect. Check the podcast, please. Coming soon, but just check the YouTube channel. I appreciate that. While I'm here, Say What's Real. Back again.
Back again, bro.
Back again. That song still goes hard, man.
Oh, it's one of the best songs ever. I know people aren't ever gonna appreciate it, but you know what I mean.
I'm gonna be real. I hated it at the beginning, but then when I was forced to listen to it, I'm like, oh, look at that. This is like.
It's kind of true.
He's put me in like, what is this, the 80s, the 70s? This is the vibe.
This song
here.
is actually hella fire. Save Your Tears is I can't. You
Bro.
know, I'm probably gonna make everybody hate me after
Hate.
But before we start today, guys, that was actually I really breathed actually kind of hard on the camera. You know what I mean? But so before we start, Norberto last video, I think one of the last comments I saw, which was recently, he mentioned, guys, if you're watching this and you actually like what we do, leave a comment on the video. It helps the YouTube algorithm, bro.
Yep. How hard is it to smash that like button? Thumbs up.
No. Okay, look at, bro. There's a couple things to make this work, right? Obviously liking, obviously subscribing and sharing, but watch time and comments.
Yo,
that
leave
pushes
it on
the algorithm. Because, bro, doesn't that mean YouTube's thinking of like this way, bro? If someone leaves a comment, that means they actually like, you know what I mean?
Like actually cared to want to converse with these people.
And the longer you watched, yeah. So it makes sense, guys, because now that we're on Spotify, Apple Podcast, not just YouTube and Facebook anymore.
Anything helps.
Anything helps. And, every video lately has been pushing hella, like it's been steady past 100, 300, 200 now.
Right. And that's, congrats on that. And that's what I was saying. Hey, I was saying is, let's get the likes and the views a little close. Come on now. A little close. A little close.
Little close, bro.
Just a little bit. You can smash it and just not watch. Just smash the like button and then go do something else. Take a shit. Feed the kids. Who cares?
They can smash and not watch like they do with their girlfriends.
No.
They smash her, don't watch. He's like, don't look at me while we're doing it.
Equals Netflix and chill.
Yeah. Because we already broke the rules
Smash
on YouTube.
And don't watch.
We cussed within the first 30 seconds. You're not supposed to do that? I did that.
This is for the adults.
Yeah. Well, okay, so in the analytics, right? The analytics, I think it said 70% of people that watched this stuff aren't subscribed. Me and you had a talk earlier this week.
What'd you call it?
I was like, what the hell?
Was that pocket watching?
Yeah, I did say pocket watching. And you know why I call it that? A lot of people, I have no proof of this, so I don't want to say it like it's definitive. But last episode, I said, we're just going to throw statistics out there. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. Just throw a number. It's fake business here. We're fake business people, bro. I'm going to throw a number out, and it's true because I said so. So
all right.
If it's 70% of the analytics, right, I feel like a lot of people only watch like just to keep tabs. Because
like reference, see what you're doing.
Can you name on your hand, like out of the people who share and like our content and even talk to us about it, I can name Ronald, Rachel Champion, Norberto, Genevieve. If I'm missing like you, me, Emily shares our stuff, Zach.
I get a lot of like I'll see the views go up when I send it to certain people because I try not to bombard like people's feed. So I'll just send it to you one time on Messenger, like, hey, I sent it to you. Probably like 5 to 10. Like there's a definite 5. Like 3 people you don't know. One of them you introduced you kind of to, like my brother. Outside of that, nah, man. 5
and if there's more people
talk about it, just that'll talk about it. I know you guys share, appreciate it, I know you guys view it, but that's what I'm just like, hey man, just smash the like button. That'll be appreciated. Hit a comment, put a word, put what you liked about it. Doesn't even matter.
Or hit the dislike button like you guys have been doing. Because I have a problem with that, actually.
Hey, well, you think they want timestamps?
We do that. We do that now. Timestamps?
Okay.
Yeah, he taught me how to do that.
Check them timestamps.
Yeah, check the timestamps too. Bro, no, actually, I have a problem with the Parlor video that I made.
Okay.
Because not only did it has hella dislikes now, but it's the fact that, listen, the people who disliked it,
yes,
and you know who you are, okay? And I don't think they're random people, dog.
Probably not.
What I'm talking about, like, I posted a video on Facebook, okay, about women.
Okay.
I should have known. I was walking straight into a trap.
You're already in hot water. So did you boil? Did you turn it on boil?
Well, Emily commented on my post, and hella people liked it, right? And it's not that hella people liked it. People who liked her comment,
right?
They don't share, like, support, or do like anything we do. But the second someone has a counter argument to anything I say, like he's like, we don't like his podcast, we don't share the podcast, but we're just gonna, like this, we're gonna dislike the parlor. Like, I guarantee you, bro. I told Warren this. Hella people did not like my parlor segment.
I love them.
There was hella, and I guarantee you, like, oh, so I had hella people. Which aunt were you talking about? You know what, bro? It's not my proudest moment, but it is what it is. I'm gonna start being more personal on the podcast now. Now that I'm like a year or two in now.
Why not?
I'm gonna start. This is how I vent, bro.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Why not, man? I'm gonna tell you right now, right? We were just talking about those people who we talk to, but we know they view our stuff, right? Maybe share a couple times, but like comment, like, and maybe just consistently like go through the whole video, even if they don't look at it. I'm not saying they need to know.
Yeah.
Would you rather have that? Would you rather have somebody who watched your whole video and just didn't like it? I like I'm gonna be real. I like the latter, because at least if you feel a certain type of way, you're gonna probably talk to me about somebody, whether it's about me. And so at one point in time,
it's good. So bad publicity is good publicity in a way, basically.
Least, right. Now, to a certain degree, we already know, like, you don't want a super level of infamy, but I mean, disagreement, you got to be doing something right.
Like,
I can't have everybody, you know what I mean? You're doing something right, man.
Like, when I made that post, I was like, oh,
people are gonna.
And
disagree.
I'm not gonna get into it, but when I made that post, like, oh, Donald Trump's not the worst president of all time, some part of me posted that because I wanted to be a troll,
right?
Because I knew people would get riled up, and
you did it, good job.
Yeah, and I did. And I riled up Elena, so for sure. Shout out to you.
Shout out, friend of the show.
Yeah, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
I rile up a lot of people, actually.
But that's my point. Like, sensitive topics get people into it. So hey, if that's what y'all want to hear about, it's like you said before. You'll eat crow. I damn sure got no problem being wrong.
I love eating crow.
Hey, man, say what it is. Don't care.
Yeah.
So it's all good. I think those are good times for us, man. So what we got on next, if not the family and friends? Because I'm going to be honest, like, it doesn't too much bother me, because you kind of said it before. Like, they'll believe the process when it starts working.
Exactly. They'll only like it when the money comes or when the clout comes.
Right. And that's fine. But it's still the people who we know already were like, never denying it. They maybe they're too busy. Some other people just maybe not interested. That's fine.
Well, and I had a message today. He's like, "Oh, I've never watched it ever, never clicked on it, but the second I clicked on it, I got hooked." We're gonna get a message like that,
right?
And we're gonna get that.
That's perfectly fine. So
and that's cool to me.
On it.
Yeah, right. And I'm not. Like and if you guys, the supporters that I'm talking about earlier, you know who you are, man.
Hate, feel some type of way about me. Hate me.
Hate me. Okay, let's get into the good stuff.
All right.
Enough of the ranting and heavy. I'm heavy breathing right now. I don't know why I'm just heavy breathing, but let's get to the good stuff.
Go ahead.
You guys, if you have not watched the Night Stalker on Netflix, please back out or follow the timestamps that we'll put below, because we're gonna get into that. We're gonna go into depth.
Netflix,
bro. So what? I'm gonna ask you.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers for sure.
Spoilers.
And we're gonna dig deep into the Night Stalker. We're gonna dig deep on this whole documentary.
Bam.
I'm gonna go with you. Now, I really want to hear your take on it.
What?
Because I don't think I've ever talked to you about serial killers, and it's one of those things where, like, it's a cultural thing, in my opinion, too. Because I feel, and maybe I'm wrong here, I feel like a lot of white people have turned, like, the serial killer thing into, like, some, I like Richard Ramirez, I love him. Like, did you see that the girls
at the
that
end,
were sending him? A lot of them were white women, bro. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to hear your take, because what did you think of the documentary, and what did you think of him as just a serial killer in general?
Okay. One, obviously, the dude was a fan. So that's a little weird. That's a little crazy in itself. Let's call it scary or whatever. Let's be real. When you got somebody who's looking at it like competition, they're just pushing numbers. You know what I mean? And so the second thing that, because I've heard of Richard Ramirez before, like I came across his name, seen a couple of things. I didn't know this dude was just picking any type of victims.
Yeah, he didn't have like an MO really.
Right. The setup was just be a woman. You got a guy, get shot. Her, freaking get raped. It was just like, I couldn't, between, what was it, like 100 and, what did it end on when he got caught? Like 160 some days?
It was about 170, 100.
For that just to be happening in the LA County, bro, I was like, out of everything and how long he did it, I really enjoyed the end. Because the beginning I was kind of like, okay, where's it going? But they really built up what the two detectives had to go through. You know what I'm saying?
Liked that it came from their point of view.
That was good.
That was cool.
At first I was just like, oh, why are they talking about this dude? But I'm like, you know what? Get over that hump, judge it later. Because there's only 4 episodes. And getting into it, so after episode 1, you see like the problem, you see who they're after, you kind of see the MO. The second and third episode, I really just felt like, because they kept saying the Night Stalker killer, I didn't know who it was. So I don't even know if they caught this guy, right? So in my mind, I'm like, damn, man, this is like crazy. This dude's on the news, multiple names, people just getting popped in the house, old people, kids. I'm like, it kind of threw me off because, like you said, there was really no motive besides what? Shoes?
Well, I was thrown off because I've heard of him before, Richard Ramirez.
Right.
And when in the documentary, when they start mentioning like him taking kids from their literal bedroom window,
Yeah.
molesting them, raping them, I was like, what? He did that?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Like, I mean, I don't look up this type of shit. Like, I know about serial killers, but I'm not like a fanboy.
And even when you Google him, a lot of it is about like the surface level Google. It's just like, say you just go to Wikipedia. It really kind of only tells you like mentality, how long he was doing it. There's not a lot of details on
like his like the I wouldn't say the work behind what he did because sounds really bad. But
the mannerisms.
Yeah.
How people knew him, like
his method.
But how does everybody know this dude from his odor, his teeth, and his eyes? That's creepy.
One thing that got me really good was when they interviewed the woman because she got kidnapped from her bedroom window when she was 6.
Yeah.
He took her to his house.
And he let her go.
This hearing her story gave me chills, bro. I was like, damn, bro. Like,
I didn't. She.
I think episode 2 and 3 of the documentary are very, very like.
Yes.
This killing. It was like super like in your face, brutal, like brutal.
3 really showed how the media back then could really ruin certain stories. Like, I still appreciated them showing like that side of journalism. Like, we figured it out. We're gonna tell people.
They were gonna expose, and we're gonna get to the shoe part. But you're talking about the reporter who's gonna
right.
So she could have got more people killed because she wanted a story.
And that's why I'm kind of a hit and miss. Because when you look at it later on, and they put his name in the paper, his face in the paper, really helped. But when you look at where she started it, which was specifically the detective that we saw, I think his name was not Phil.
There's Gil, and I think it's Frank. Yeah.
When she gave information that had Frank's address on it with his family, and this dude, they said they were pulling 16-hour days. Bro, I have never, man, that's enough to make you want to. I lose my job in a heartbeat. Like, I'm quitting.
Packs one out, done.
At least, like at very least, now he has to quit. Now you might be next. You know what I'm saying? Because you just ruined this dude's whole like family. You know what I'm saying? And then the Gil part where Gil thought somebody might have broke in.
And and he had like the gun and everything.
And his wife left. I was like, those 2 things right there really, yeah, man.
They really showed the dark side of being a cop too. Like, you're never with your family.
Yeah.
There's always constant worry of you dying. There's always the thought in the back of your head, like, I'm gonna,
And your face is on the screen, so you're looking for a killer. As soon as they name you as the person that's looking for them, now, and that was a big thing they were saying, like, yeah, the killer's watching the news.
Yeah, because he was
changing his methods every time.
What really blew my mind, and I've seen a lot of serial killer documentaries. I've read up on them before. What really blew my mind, bro, was the shoe. Like, bro, Justin, so he was wearing a shoe, I think it was Avia? Or Avia?
Avia.
It was Avia. So he had a shoe, right? and they were able to get a footprint off the shoe, figure out what shoe it is, and they figured out that only one pair of those specific shoes,
Size and everything
was shipped to Los Angeles. So at all these different crime scenes, they see the footprint. They know it's him. They know it's him because that was the only shoe from Avia that was shipped to Los Angeles in that time.
Right.
So they would find that shoe print a hell of kidnappings of the little kids, murders.
And you know,
that's, to me, I've never heard of a fact like that.
One
shoe.
Just to put me on that, because remember that was their one clue they had for so long, and the next was that car,
the orange car,
right?
Yeah,
that they were waiting on from episode 2, and then in episode 3 you see that they didn't even ship the car or process it like they said they were going to, and by the time they actually got the car, which was like a year later.
It was sometime.
I'm sorry, no, it wasn't a year later because it was only a couple.
I think it was like months.
It was a good couple of months later. I want to say it was like 2, because it jumped to the hundreds. That's how I remember. It jumped to the hundreds in like 30, 20 or so. By that time.
Are you talking about when they finally got to examine the car?
Yeah,
that they had his dentistry.
Right.
That is insane too.
But that was 2 times that they couldn't rely on the LAPD, and they admitted it.
Well, didn't he say in the documentary, like, hey, another jurisdiction went out of their way to, like, ruin our work?
Yeah. And
that's insane, too.
The pissing contest.
That exists? People are dying. I didn't know that it happened. I mean, I think that was important to talk about, like that. Did anybody think that happens? Or?
I always wondered why, like, besides, like, the stories you would hear, right? Because you hear word of mouth stories and, like, say you know for a fact they're true, you don't know if they're like true for the whole world, that's your experiences. But then when you see something like this, you know for a fact why TV, music, media, they just make fun of the LAPD department. You guys got a badass history of not taking shit serious.
I think it costs a lot of people their lives, bro.
Like, bro, when I seen, like, when that caused them to have like an extra 50 days looking for this dude.
Yeah,
he was gone for like 2 more months.
They could have prevented so many people from dying if that jurisdiction didn't try to fuck over this jurisdiction.
Man, and
it's like what?
They said there were like 3 or 4 of them too. So it just became, like you said, it became a pissing contest. It became the fact
because he wasn't just doing it in one county, right? Remember in the documentary, he was doing it spread across California.
The other one was the arrest warrant. Remember? The dude said it. It was a totally different guy, but he said they asked us to sit on a murder warrant
for 24 hours because they were like, "Hey, you know what the media would say if they found out we were."
Man, get out of here, bro. Yeah, and they waited.
But they didn't know, right? They didn't know he was in Arizona with his brother, right? So,
but the thing is, it's like if you don't go get him now, and he is there, and he kills somebody and leaves, it's on you. It is because you could have acted then.
Well,
just like when we look at
the debate like if you guys wait? No. Wasn't the debate like if you guys go public with his name and picture?
Yeah, that was one
that he could run away and then you don't catch him at all. So, but I think both.
But remember, the murder warrant was just for them to go to their house. Like the warrant, it just means I can go pick your ass up
and arrest you.
Right, but they didn't. They wanted to wait and why?
There was
when he was doing 2 in one night.
There was some, wasn't there some incidences where he was doing 2 in one night?
Like 4 times, man.
There was one kid who ended up escaping, getting kidnapped from his room.
Right.
There was
little girl he let. There was rare cases where the child was killed too.
Oh, was there? Because I didn't remember. I mean,
it was always rape for the children. Also, it was child rape. It was women rape, and the men. The
when he killed the adults, it was very brutal.
Yeah, the men never made it. Except for the family when he got that new gun, and it just
and bro, Justin, dude. So he breaks into this couple's house. He shoots the wife in the head. She survives.
It goes through her nose and comes out the back of her neck, hitting no vital artery.
Then he shoots the husband in the head. He survives. Then the husband chases the Night Stalker out of the house, and they lived, right?
Yeah, they both lived.
Bro, they both got shot in the head. What are the odds?
In the face. Sleep.
Yeah, and then the Frank, the detective, the homicide detective, he goes in the newspaper and calls him a coward for it.
Yeah,
and the Night Stalker saw that.
Yeah, for running. And then that's when, shortly after he had to deal with the reporter giving the information about where he lived. I'm like, bro. And then that's why I was so scared. I know for Frank, at the end, because when they actually caught the dude and seen him, never mind his partner, he knew exactly who Frank was.
Yeah, because
Hyped to know.
well, wasn't it kind of Frank was one of those detectives where just like in a movie?
It was the
they're
it was
big.
remember the strangle victim or something
The
like
Hillside
that?
Strangler.
Yes, he's the one who helped
broke that
capture
case.
him. So yeah, and that was for me. Never mind the eyes. It was because I feel like he could have been caught a long time ago had we just said it. Just those organizations work better together. I just feel like for Frank, it was probably the worst out of everybody because he was looking at him and he was just looking at numbers. Like that would have been another type of publicity for him to kill Frank. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I killed the Hillside. What's the name of the Hillside?
The Hillside Strangler, and then
Hillside Stranglers.
Well, remember at the end, he was like, "Oh, I'm going to be in the same cell as the Hillside Strangler."
Yeah,
he's a student of the. Yeah. I don't want to say student in the game as if it's cool to be a serial killer, but that's kind of what Richard Ramirez was.
That is. He was a student. He said it. He was like, I studied Ted Bundy and all the people.
Yeah,
and shit.
So I was going to ask you your opinion on the fact that you give these serial killers a name, right? So you give them a moniker, you give them a name, you publicize them. Even now, what we're doing right now on this video, right? Me and you are talking about him. We're giving him more publicity. We're giving him more like. What do you feel about that? Like, I feel like it's weird to like. I don't want to be a hypocrite and say don't talk about serial because we're doing that, but. Like when you give them a name, they literally like he gets to go in the newspaper. I'm the Night Stalker, and then we making a Netflix video out of it. And I just don't know if that's the right way to do it.
Documentary I was trying to tell you to watch about that cat killer guy.
Yeah.
One of the main people that they interviewed about that video, she says that she thinks that that's what happened. Is like they put his name and picture and video up and everything trying to catch him, but all that did was give him the attention that he wanted. And it drove him to up his ante to try to keep getting attention.
Because he was getting attention from the newspaper.
That drove him to do more because he was getting attention.
Yeah, I don't want. Like I said, I don't want to be a hypocrite.
Attention is a drug.
We're talking about him right now.
It is a drug. I mean, attention is power to people right now.
But they have to like.
But in the purest form. Like imagine back then, right? We grew into the internet, right? Eventually, it started at, okay, people can take your pictures with a cell phone or any type of one of these cameras, Yeah. It goes a little further. Now your phone got it. You keep progressing. Now we're live and we're streaming, we're recording everything. You know what I'm saying? MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, constantly. I think it's just like for back then, bro. Yeah.
Oh, it was big back then. If you were known like that,
I have to say, like, I'm kind of indifferent for the bringing them out thing. I feel like that's a kind of a case by case thing, but giving them a name is never good in my opinion.
Yeah, I can like instead of Ted Bundy, it's my name's Iron Man or something like.
Right, like you know what I'm saying. Like, nah, you don't need to make it because giving them a name, it always comes from one thing, catchy. It's not really, unless it's just easy to remember. Like when they give them a name, like say a name like it's he killed in that area, that's kind of different. I feel like that's an easier way to recognize instead of trying to remember like the specific person's name. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, because like Richard and Ramirez I'm sure some kid might be named that one day.
There probably is Richard Ramirez's name out there.
Right. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like to a certain degree, I don't think they should have these extra, the Hillside Strangler, like the Hillside Killer. Call them all killers.
Well, like, they had posted his picture and name on almost every newspaper in California.
Right.
And so I thought it was funny that when he got caught by his own community of like Latino people.
Yeah, and they was whooping his ass. Yeah, they were whooping his ass.
They were like, El Diablo. And like,
he said, I hit him with the pipe. And then he tried to run away. I knocked him. I hit him again.
Yeah, and remember the cop was like, "Oh, they surrounded my car," and like they were talking about killing him. And
they all looking at him. Oh, that's him. That's him. Oh, let's get him. Yeah. Because to them it's so surreal. It's like, oh, it's meant to be. In my mind, it's like it's meant to be. You came to the wrong place. You got caught. Then whoop your ass.
There were certain killings that he did where I was like, damn, he didn't have to do that old lady like that. I mean, he didn't have to do any of them like that. But it was you know what I mean? Like, imagine like that's the last face you see is that guy. I don't know. That would suck, man.
Bro, this is what, man. Nah.
You know, it's just one of those things, bro. I give the documentary, I would say a 9 out of 10.
But and just to know y'all ain't supporting this. This is why Jeffrey Dahmer got mashed in prison. Some like the guards gave this dude, hey, gave him a newspaper. You know what that is, right? And he beat this dude to death in his own prison cell. You can't just kill people.
He was too
Right,
big.
I don't care what
Be...
you believe. You can't just fuck with people's lives and think they're just gonna be like, oh, okay, he got me. No. People gonna be like, oh, well, I'm screwed. My life is over.
But think about it. You're the guy who killed Jeffrey Dahmer. That's what you'll always be known for, though, now.
Right, yeah.
So I'm in prison. I'm gonna kill you because I will be known as the guy who killed Jeffrey Dahmer.
And he said it. I was already serving life, so.
One of the facts about his childhood, bro, there was one that kind of fucking bugged me, bro, that his dad used to tie him to a tombstone in the graveyard overnight as a punishment.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think happens if you tie me to a tombstone out in the graveyard? What do you think I'm thinking about all night? Don't you think some evil thoughts will start to ferment?
Man, it's like this.
Well, think about it. You're tied to a tombstone and a graveyard. You don't think that kid's out there thinking hella evil things to do when you let him out?
This is all right. I may be hated for this. All right, I'm gonna say something.
Uh-huh.
This is why I believe people, and we were talking about something else, behind the cameras. Justin was letting us know some things, but I feel like people should be screened before they could have children. Straight up.
How would you screen them?
The same way we screen if we're even going to let a war vet come back. He killed for us, but he might not be able to turn off that mode.
You mean like, oh, hey, if you're bipolar or you have schizophrenia,
or if it's damaged you, or maybe even not even saying if it was a psychological thing. Maybe you just had a concussion while you were there. We make sure they're fit to be a member of society, but we can't make sure somebody is fit to be a parent until after they fuck up the kid's life. And then we expect the kid to be okay. You feel what I'm saying?
Or we expect them just get up and lick your wounds. Just lick your wounds.
Right. Or go in foster care and come out just fucking all right with a whole bunch of other kids, probably went through some other horrible shit. And it's just like, this is why so much, whatever. Not to rant, but yeah, man, it's like, I couldn't even be surprised at it, bro. Like because we don't talk about these often, but when you do, it's rare that the parents didn't do anything. Like they just didn't know he was always so clean. They're clean.
Oh, they knew, bro.
It's rare that the parents were just clean and he was just a psychopath and nobody knew.
The once he gets arrested, he's in jail. The media frenzy behind the case, him going hell Satan in court, the pentagrams, all the women writing. That's another thing. This is gonna sound bad, man, but it's like, hey, you murdered people, okay? These women still like you. But you didn't just murder people. You raped and molested little kids, too. And these women are still writing letters and sending you nudes.
Yeah.
What? Like, no one checked those women? Why weren't they evaluated or taken in? Like, bro, he molested and raped kids, and you're still sending him nudes. I might not want you to be a part of my organization as an employer. I might not want to, people, if you're that ballsy to send someone like Richard Ramirez, nudes and letters, they should be publicly aired out, bro. You're honestly one of the people that sent him a letter.
Minimal. I think that's just not saying that, because I really don't know what else we should do, but yeah, at minimal, I like that idea. Air these motherfuckers out because, like I said, I ain't got no problem. Vote for Trump. Vote for Biden. Vote for whoever you want. At the same time, though, if you're using one of them to, just like we said, if we found out all of them, anybody from that that island you were putting me on a couple episodes back, if we found anybody from that weird, rich, rapey, sacrificial, whatever island, fuck them. To the maximum degree, because you cannot support that level of things and be like, can I just live? No. Because you support things that don't make other people live. So no. You gave that right up a little bit, It's kind of like if I start beating people up and then I get mad, I lose. That doesn't work, bro. It doesn't matter if when you beat them up, it was kind of, you got away with it. It wasn't too bad. It's just, nah. keep that same energy. I don't know, but
So you like the documentary? I mean, we don't like what he did, but
it's
the
hard,
documentary
to like it, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was worth a watch.
Very good, worth a watch.
It was worth a watch because man, that just lets you know like how far people have come and how far we've come handling things.
I'm gonna break down another documentary that you're probably
you gotta
gonna
put this on me.
You're probably gonna watch later, but it's
Right.
called Above Majestic on Hulu. I like it. A lot of people aren't going to. The cover, like Warren even laughed at the cover because it shows a lizard person, right? You know, people get made fun of if they believe in lizard people, and
Right, crocodiles in the sewer.
which then I told Warren, I said, bro, so like I know you laugh at people who believe in lizard people, but there's probably a lizard alien race out there. I mean, the odds are that they exist. They look like lizards, probably.
Right.
It's funny to laugh at people. Yeah, it is. But I mean, like at the same time, I'm not going to say it's impossible to say that they don't look like lizard people. So basically, Above Majestic, a quick summary is it's a look at the origins, history, and conspiracies behind the Majestic. What the hell? It's a look at the origins, history, and conspiracies behind the Majestic 12, a clandestine group of military and corporate figureheads charged with reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology. Now, I'm going to break down some of the biggest points of the documentary.
Okay.
Because one of my biggest problems with the documentary, and it's not major, the music at sometimes was like too loud when the person was talking.
Oh, they try to sell the villain.
Yeah, or there's some times where like the music was scary when it shouldn't have been scary. And they jump around a lot. Like, so for instance, they'll be talking about, let's say, I'm just going to say something, time travel. We're talking about time travel. Then they'll go into a next clip about JFK, but they don't end the last, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a smooth transition.
Time travel.
Yeah, like, where does that connect with this, right? But that's the only problems I had.
Okay. Not the best pacing or...
Yeah. So
Told
the movie
way.
was based on an alleged 1947 organization called the Majestic 12 that facilitates the recovery and investigation of alien spacecraft, right? Okay. Basically, these people are like the top, like the 1%ers.
Right, if we're going to look at anything alien.
Yeah, like the
It's
1%ers. They're above the politicians, basically. They, you know.
Right.
One of the facts that I like about the documentary, it says Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, who was a professor at MIT, was let into Nikola Tesla's vault after his death. He basically got to clear out the vault. Reports say that like years upon years later, they learned that a lot of papers were missing, a lot of like blueprints were missing from the vault. So obviously the rumor fueled that, you know, his uncle was privy to seeing like...
And it says here he was an American engineer. A professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology from 1936 to 1973.
The government basically, they said, hey, so other countries don't get their hands on Tesla's work, we're going to go in and swoop in and take it. Because they considered it classified information, and he might have invented...
He's the godfather of this, man.
Yeah, I mean...
So continue, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I mean, so it's just so strange that Donald Trump's uncle was the one.
Born into money. According to this, his uncle's
Well, he helped invent some pretty good shit.
Way more useful than
He was, right?
Way. Just looking at this, was an American electrical engineer. Yeah,
His uncle. It's just crazy to think that his uncle did that.
He must have he must have done very well, man, to even be in
that same room, basically.
Right.
They mention how cars have used the same they've used the same technology for the last 100 years.
Yep.
Basically because the fossil fuel industry makes too much money, and they are dead against distributing free energy. Which, if you follow Tesla's work, he was studying about free energy, anti-gravity research. The government basically wanted to suppress free energy. They didn't want people having access to free energy.
It's not profitable.
They would lose billions of dollars, right? So basically, Tesla befriended a guy named Otis Carr, right?
Okay.
Who later, after Tesla's death, did more research on the anti-gravity work that Tesla was developing. And it said in the documentary that he developed a spacecraft called the OTC X1, which was basically you can pilot it with the consciousness of an individual. The craft was able to navigate through space and time, but he was basically run out of business by the military-industrial complex. Basically, like, the top government people.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just again, I'm speaking facts with the
right. Just what you've based off the documentary.
Not
yeah. Us. Right.
So the anti-gravity research he was developing basically is how UFOs fly. They use it's suggested that they use anti-gravity, which is how they're able to like zigzag through the sky and go such fast speeds and
saucers.
They don't use the same physics that planes use. Let's just be honest with each other. You know what I mean?
Not even close.
So, so the national government and Thomas Edison, in the documentary, it says that Thomas Edison and the national government were out to destroy Tesla's work and patents. And you kind of read about that in school. I don't know if you remember that. You too.
I don't.
Do you remember reading about like how Thomas Edison was like he was really greasy when it came to patents and stuff?
I did. Yes, on patents. Yes, I didn't know he tried to grease Tesla.
Well, I mean, like, cause so
it says it too. Thomas Edison versus Tesla says it right here. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Well, no, you're not interrupting me, bro. I'm listening.
It says the two feuding geniuses waged, and this is just a quick type into Google, y'all. I mean, who knows how accurate it is, but it looks like it comes from this live science page. The two feuding geniuses waged a war of currents in the 1880s over whose electrical system would power the world. Tesla's alternating current, AC, system, or Edison's rival direct current, DC, electrical power. Amongst the science nerds, few debates get more heated than the ones that compare Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. So, like, we see DC on the back of your plugins. That's Thomas Edison work.
And AC is
Tesla's work.
Tesla's work.
Okay.
Crazy stuff.
Beefing.
Another thing in the documentary that I found fascinating was in 2012. I don't know how to pronounce her name correctly, so I'm just gonna throw a bone out there. 12-year-old girl, Bridge Ann Devonian. I don't know how to pronounce it right. I apologize. She found out through her research. She's a 12-year-old girl, right? Through her research at the time, she found out that President Obama was related to every single U.S. president except one, which she ended up concluding that 42 out of the 43 U.S. presidents had one common ancestor, and King John I from England. And not just any old king. This is the guy who basically chartered the Magna Carta.
All right, now I got to Google this one more time because this one.
Keep going. So the guy who basically wrote and founded like what became like the British Constitution. He is related to every at the time he was related to 42 presidents out of 43. That is insane. And a 12-year-old girl found that out through her research.
Somebody took man.
That's insane.
Man.
And
oh my goodness.
And they even show her in the documentary.
Oh my goodness.
So,
I don't know how to say her name.
I don't either.
The U.S. presidents who descend from King John of England. The family tree. Well, this is on Amazon. Abroad in the Yard, the Daily Mail of UK, the New York Daily News, Roots Web, and the Santa Cruz Sentimental. All of them you can check yourself. Damn. Continue.
That is just, what are the odds? I mean, what does that say? What does that say?
God, I hate when I do that.
What does that mean, though? Like, what do you think that means? Is it just coincidence, or is this all planned out? Come on, bro. That's
plain.
42 out of 43.
You can't get nothing on that in a competition. Like, what?
That's not, that's insane, bro.
No.
I guarantee you that you're right. If you say this out loud to people and just don't really
get. It sounds like BS.
Yeah, it does sound like BS.
I'm usually willing to believe anything. Like, here's something y'all can Google. More than a few times, a dog has become mayor. Actually, just last year or 2019.
Like an actual dog.
There is a dog that has become mayor. You can Google it. You guys can throw it up on here. It's a good dog. There's probably like 2 or 3 of them currently that are mayors of cities. These motherfuckers obviously have nothing to do. That's okay. I'm sorry. Hate me. Whatever. Shout out to the show, hopefully.
Yeah,
sure. If
you're a dog and a mayor, comment below. You know what I mean? Pause. But, pause.
42 out of 43 or 43 out of 44 presidents?
That's insane, bro. And then we end up with Donald Trump, whose uncle was able to clear out Tesla's vault.
And right, we looked at him and Edison, not his uncle, but Edison and Tesla, right? Who Edison was known for possibly stealing patents.
And he was basically the
And
government's
Tesla
like
has-
little, you know.
And Tesla has so much work that it was either A, unfinished, or B, people don't even know exists.
Because they took it.
So I mean, like,
I mean, yeah.
we ain't saying nothing though. We ain't saying nothing. Just looks a little weird.
So one of the
fish.
next parts of this documentary that I thought were fascinating was, as of 2018 in August, there are officially 45,000 sealed indictments. So basically, it's on government record. It's on the court record on pacer.gov. It's a website, that keeps track of this stuff.
Right.
So, in the result of a secret grand jury proceeding, so basically what it means is, like, if you want to know what a sealed indictment is, it's the result of a secret grand jury proceeding, requires a panel of 12 to 23 U.S. citizens who are given testimony and information from a prosecutor. The prosecutor is basically prosecuting someone who is not invited to the proceeding. So the person that they're prosecuting doesn't know what's happening and he's not there, right? The jury then decides whether or not there's enough evidence to prosecute this person for a crime, which then leads to a sealed indictment. The indictment stays off the record, and you don't get to know the person's name until it is unsealed, which then they are then arrested immediately, right? The prosecutor is either a federal U.S. attorney, a court district attorney, or a state attorney general, which those are big people, bro.
It was county district attorney.
Oh, county district attorney. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, just so, because you said court, I didn't want to.
Yeah, no, you're good, bro. Thank you for correcting me on that one, actually. I don't want someone like you said. Anyways, long story short, those are big players in the game. Those aren't just normal
County district. State district. State attorney general, bro.
So it's basically it's aimed at prosecuting against organized crime and large groups of people, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people became fascinated with this because there's 45,000 of them, which means
a lot of people are getting looked at. Yeah,
there's a group called NXIVM. I don't know if you've heard of NXIVM, Dustin, or of you, Ricky, but NXIVM was basically like a cult-like group. They had a member called Keith Rainier and Allison Mack. And I think in the documentary it says those are the only two unsealed court documents out of the 45,000. And those unsealed indictments are labeled as child sex trafficking on them. Right? So that's why a lot of the QAnon stories come from. I don't really believe in the full QAnon. Like, you know what QAnon is, right?
No, I was waiting for you to tell me.
So QAnon, a lot of them, they get tied to Trump, basically, because it's a group of people who believe Trump was trying to defeat the pedophiles and he was taking out all the elite pedophile rings and, he was going to save the world from pedophiles.
I'll have to look into that one.
And then that's why the guy who stormed the Capitol, the QAnon shaman, and...
Right, okay.
Warren makes fun of me for it, but I think those people have somewhat good intentions. Obviously, they don't want to see kids raped and molested, right? Who doesn't agree with that? You know what I mean?
The women shaking their titties for Richard Ramirez.
Yeah. So there might be...
Sorry.
I think a lot of what QAnon is it's kind of like... I get it, right? But there's a lot of stuff there, right? So a lot of those theories come from this.
Yeah.
It says the only two so far that are unsealed are from a group called NXIVM. Their leader, Keith Rainier, and his under person, Allison Mack. She's an actress. Their unsealed indictments were labeled under child sex trafficking. Bro, like, what? So if those are the first two, right? What are the other 45-something thousand going to be?
I want to see the fuck Allison Mack is.
They mention in the documentary, right? They mention that when Harvey Weinstein was arrested, as the cops are taking him away, he has a book in his hand, right?
Bro.
The book was about somebody who got caught in Hollywood and started snitching on people.
Did you look at who Allison Mack was?
I'm not going to lie, no. Who is she?
How old do you think this person is?
Oh, in the documentary, she looked about late 40s, early 40s.
Okay. Allison Mack is an American actress known for her roles as Chloe Sullivan on the WB and CW series Smallville, as well as Amanda on FX series Wilfred. Very recently.
That's insane. See?
She's only 38.
So if it's those two, what else are we getting into, man? So, the documentary gets into a lot more stuff. It's really interesting. They talk about ancient Indian and Egyptian hieroglyphics,
Okay.
you know, it talks about aliens
Okay.
and serpent aliens. That's where the serpent part comes from, the documentary.
Okay.
A lot of ancient Hindu religions and like Egyptian stuff, it depicts alien serpent-like creatures that have come down and helped us. So that's where that derives from.
Okay.
Okay. The last thing I will touch on is, so it mentions how everything's connected through a cosmic web, right?
All right.
Scientists call it the cosmic web, which is interconnected to everything, right?
Circle of life.
When we dropped the atomic bomb, it sent an alert out through the cosmic web. That's what in the
You
documentary
think that was all right? All right. Maybe
so
okay,
it says
go
when they
ahead.
dropped the atomic bomb, it sent this wave out through the cosmic web, basically alerting other extraterrestrial life that we're not just small potatoes anymore. These guys have weapons of destruction.
We got big guns now.
It made it got us a lot of attention from outsiders, and I'm not talking about inside outsiders. I'm talking about outside outsiders.
Right. And what was this on?
This was on above Majestic.
What was the where can I find it?
Oh, Hulu.
Okay, Hulu.
They talk about how at the time that these aliens ended up making bases on the moon, ended up making bases on Mars to watch us. That's why somebody from NASA claims we're not able to go back to the moon, even though we did. He says we don't have the technology to go back. Why? Because when they went there, they said in the documentary, when they went there was aliens there, bro. They were watching them. Basically told them not to come back. Yeah, don't come out here. You guys aren't allowed to be space traveling until you figure out what the fuck. You know what I mean? Basically, like, you've made the atomic bomb. You've made this. Yeah, you're not allowed to leave. Like, you can't be.
So we got a galactic peace force already?
Well, I actually said that in a podcast before.
They can't come here and just like give us some money and like fix things up. Like, all right, you guys chill over here. You guys chill over here.
It said that they've kind of agreed to just let us deal with Earth, right? They're not trying to interfere with like making rules, but there's certain ones that have definitely made treaties. Like they mentioned a president had made a treaty before with them, because I guess there was a huge problem where aliens would come to Earth and just take people without asking.
This is your Men in Black.
We're gonna get into that. They take
Right?
people without asking. So what they did was, right, and this is right around the technology boom. They made a
Okay.
treaty. You could take people if you want, but give us technology and medicines.
Okay.
And that's where the technology boom comes from, because they have given us stuff. We give them humans. It's in the documentary. It says, hey, how would you feel if the biggest secret to be ever uncovered in this government was that they were selling you to an intergalactic slave trade?
I mean, they're selling us to I'm sorry, my bad. They're selling us to each other. That wouldn't be too shocking.
But I mean, can you imagine just getting took to another galaxy to send?
I mean, if somebody can fly
And-
that far and come to Earth and be like, look, man, let me get that guy. What are you really going to say?
So
What are you going to tell E.T. with a gun?
I'm
Aimed at
not
the
telling
moon?
AT with shit. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just creepy to think about, man. And anyways, the
No, it
documentary is
is.
really good.
And it is because there's so little known, and there's so much that we know they're probably not ever going to tell us. You know?
Did you hear about the CIA declassifying a lot of the UFO and alien stuff? And that they're supposed to
I
have a
have.
trial in Congress soon about it, or the Senate?
Right.
That's insane. So they're slowly revealing.
You know me. I think I think
coming,
they're
dude.
bullshitting, right?
It's coming, man.
You know I think they're bullshitting, right? I'm just gonna call it out there. I think y'all bullshitting. I don't trust y'all. Yo, I'm glad you do.
Yeah.
Don't change your
No,
mentality.
there's a
about
lot
that.
of things I don't. I don't know.
I'll take
It
that.
could go any way.
I
It
know,
could go
but I'm
anywhere.
glad you're looking though, because
Yeah.
I'm just like, y'all eat a dick. Even if they are out of there, y'all eat a dick. I can't do nothing.
I mean, how do we as a people, like, I'm thinking to myself before we go to the next topic, how as a people do we even begin to process that? Like, there's so
Right.
many things on Earth that we want to fix and we want to do. But like, if you found out that they were letting aliens take people from here, right, and for an intergalactic slave trade type thing, and I'd be like, how do you process that? Like, you know, so. And they actually, okay, before I get off, in the documentary, they talk about JFK, how he was going to reveal certain things about that, and then they killed him for it. He didn't like that they were letting people do that. He didn't like that this was happening. And so basically the Majestic 12, who was the group of people who run everything, got him killed because he was going to reveal shit. I don't know if it's true, bro. It's crazy to look into.
No,
It is.
I'm just gonna make sure I write it down and remember, so I can remember to look at this later, like just to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Get a different opinion, you know, for myself. Like, but it's damn sure interesting, especially in the state of things. It is damn sure interesting. Yep, Majestic 12. Yep, for sure. FBI records of all. We'll talk about that.
So I do want to revisit a story I had on a podcast before. The podcast was the WPOB one that me and Dustin did. So I talk about a time in my life where
Simply.
I would say it's probably the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. And now looking back on it, and when I revisit this story in my head, like right now, it's weird. See, like it's so weird. Like, when I revisit this story, it's like I get taken back to that time, and I can see everything clear as day. Like it's so weird, dude. Like most things that I'm remembering, I don't get such a vivid memory. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I guess you get the little shiver up your spine.
Yeah. So when we were kids, we lived in Everett.
Feel it, feel.
Justin says he doesn't really remember the first part of the story, and who does? We were kids, right?
Right.
I remember because it's what led up to this next part. We were outside playing. I remember looking up in the sky, and I saw what I thought at the time, you know, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, you know, what did I see in the sky? It's like one of those playful things. I see what looked like a UFO, right? It's coming out of what it looked like this, it comes out of something and goes into something else.
Okay.
Like it comes out of this, and then it's so fast. It's almost like portals, right?
Okay.
It was really cool. It was actually really cool. But as a kid, I'm like, oh, Justin, did you see that? We're playing outside. It's one of those things, right? And I remember telling my stepdad when I came in, I told him about it. He's like, oh, you probably just saw a plane. But I remember seeing it for like a good, like probably 5 minutes. It was just in the sky making these weird turns and like doing like really cool stuff, right?
Okay.
So later that night, I go to bed, and in our Everett house, we have a bunk bed. We used to have bunk beds. So, and right behind the bunk bed, and hopefully I could put a picture up for this part of the video so that people can see what I'm talking about. But behind my headboard, there's a window. There's a pretty good big size window.
Okay.
And when you look out the window, it was on the first story of a house. So whoever's standing on the other side of the window can literally just stand and like talk to you.
Oh, so like it's ground level. Okay.
Yeah. So there is no looking up to talk to me. You're like ground level with my window, and you can see in my room type shit.
I hate those windows.
Yeah. Well, now after that, you know. So I remember one night, it was that same night, we're going to bed, and I remember late at night, I wake up and I hear, and I don't know how to explain this, bro. It wasn't like a knock. I don't even know if it was a knock. I remember laying in my bed, and you can just feel like a presence. You can just tell that something's wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you've ever felt that, but I remember sitting there, and I'm like, you know, I could tell something's wrong, and there was something that told me to turn around. And when I turned around, it was just these two guys standing outside my window with like Men in Black suits on. And I know people are gonna be like, oh, right? But this is before I even knew what the hell that was. Later on in life, I ended up going to school and researching and like reading UFO stuff.
Did you ever see the movie Men in Black before that?
I did, right? I did.
I'll take that. But they're nothing like the whole we're coming to abduct you look.
Yeah, and like, so the Men in Black in the movie, it's fun,
they don't,
right?
Yeah, they don't give you... There's not one time they came up and somebody wanted to abduct these motherfuckers. They were annoyed. What's weird is in Men in Black, the people they meet are weirder than the men in black.
Yeah, and like at least there's some comical element to it.
Exactly.
These guys were just like everything you read online, bro. It looked like they didn't have eyebrows. It looked like they had no hair. Their voices were very monotone. It's almost like they were wearing human skin.
Fucking Agent Smith.
You know, they had shades on, the whole 9 yards, bro. It was so weird. One of them didn't have shades on, and like his eyes looked dead. And I remember turning around, and I opened my window, and
Why?
they just start. I don't know. Nothing told me to. I just felt like this. Like, it's so weird, bro. Now thinking about it, remember and I opened the window. They start talking to me about what I saw earlier that day. And I was, you know, they're like, "Oh yeah, you don't tell anybody what you saw. Don't ever bring it up." And I remember sitting there just hella scared.
Have you ever had a dream about that since?
No, and so I was actually scared to talk about it for a while.
Okay.
I think I told Justin. I don't even know how I. So the crazy thing is, on the side of my bunk bed, there's a dresser. Okay. After talking to them for, I don't even know how long I talked to them, bro.
I'm telling you right now, you opening that window was just.
It was a mistake.
It's creepy white shit 101.
Well, as a kid, what am I do? The blinds are already up. I can't shut the blinds on them.
Shit.
I mean, I probably should have ran to my mom. That's probably what I should have done.
Was Justin in the same room?
Yeah, he was on the bottom bunk.
Justin, you would have been left. I would have sprinted. I would have told you as I'm halfway down that hallway, bro.
Like, blah, 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 blah.
I'm sorry.
They told me to promise them, write it down. So I get off my bunk bed, I grab a piece of paper from my desk, I grab a pencil, I go back up to the bunk bed, and I write, I promise I won't say anything. And I show them, and I lay the paper down, right? And like, it was weird because like there was 2 in front of the window, and then you could see like 2 on the sidewalk where the road's at. And then it just looked like there was 2, then 2 on the sidewalk, and then like looked like a car parked across the street. And when they left, they kind of like, I don't even remember how they left. I just remember them being gone, basically. And then I pass out. I wake up. That paper's there, dude. The paper's there. I look at it. It has the words that I wrote on it from the night before. I crumble it up and I throw it. And I don't remember. And I'm not trying to be weird about it. I don't remember coming forward with the story.
Maybe, man, I wish we would have kept that paper.
I know. And I don't remember. I think it was like middle school or high school. I ended up finally coming to my mom like, hey, when we lived in Everett, like I had an encounter with people outside my window. Like it was one of those things. Like I was like.
She didn't believe you, did she?
Well, so it's not that people didn't believe me. I think Justin was probably the only person I ever told that story before I told anybody else. And it's one of those things where it's like.
It's not an easy thing to tell somebody.
It's not. And like when it comes to me, I used to be like, hey, they told me not to mention that they were here. Like, so if I start telling people, are they going to come back for me? Are they going to hurt my family? Like, what is this?
I mean, bro, maybe they got their hands full. It's 2021.
Well, my thing is, why me? I was a little kid at the time. What was I going to do that would jeopardize anything?
Maybe.
They didn't seem real. Like, it didn't seem human either.
I mean, my main thing I can say is, of course, like the logical thing to be like, oh man, you probably just had like a really vivid dream and you sleptwalked.
Yeah.
But the issue is like, why would you vividly write something as you sleepwalk?
And when I remember the story, it's not like a nightmare that I'm remembering. It's like very, very vivid.
You remember I told you where I used to live?
Yeah, the Tacoma place.
There's specific dreams there that never felt like dreams. Never. Yeah. Like, and I could always hear like weird voices. Yeah. So I can't say, you know what I'm saying? Like I just don't know what to say. Like I'm already on a different pathway of the weird. So yeah, bro.
I remember researching about it. And just thinking to myself, like, fuck, so many people went through what I went through. So many people had this experience. So many people, like, vividly remember seeing them and, like, just being threatened by them in their house. I remember reading a story where a guy was at the top of his stairs because he heard someone come through the back door. He looks at the bottom of the stairs, and there's somebody that's done that description at the bottom. Like, it's just one of those things, like, what, bro? Like...
It's weird, man.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to hit your foot.
Not deja vu, but like...
I
don't know. Like, that story has always been way weirder than crop circles to me.
The Men in Black?
Yeah. It's always way weirder than crop circles.
They're the goons. Like, they're the government goons, bro.
Right? And I believe in them, so it's like already like, ugh. But I don't know, man. I'll tell you right now, bro. I say, if it's still bothering you, it might not be any harm in at least keep looking.
I'm going to keep looking out there.
If it keeps bringing, if you feel it, no one tell you nothing you're uncomfortable with, because it's a weird slope, my friend. Yeah,
to get on some lighthearted stuff, we're going to end the episode. How much time we got?
Amen.
2?
Hey man, why you trying to scare
we'll
me,
go
bro?
like a couple minutes.
Last couple minutes.
Yeah,
man.
no,
Say
my
something
bad,
nice.
dude. My bad.
Somebody play some nice music.
Kong versus Godzilla, bro.
Go ahead, yeah.
We're
yeah,
placing
you
our
already know.
bets.
You already know what's
You
up,
got Kong, huh? Yeah, let's
you
get the
already
mask
know
on real
what's
quick.
up. Ask me again.
Hey, we got to pose for our thumbnail. What about Kong and Godzilla, bro?
You motherfucking know what it is.
I'm
There's
trying
only
to.
one king of monsters. There's only one king of monsters. And it ain't Godzilla. No. It's Kong, baby. I know this is green, but it's okay. I got it for free. Don't play me. Point is,
Yeah.
right? I know the other people can't see it on Spotify. What was it, Apple Music?
And yeah,
Yeah, you probably can't see it, but
it's a mask, bro. That
bruh,
shit's
all
kind of
day,
lit.
man. Matter of fact, you know why it has to be Kong? This man takes a L every movie. He may win at the end, but this man takes a L every
I really
movie.
hope they don't do the Freddy versus Jason thing, where like
They both win?
don't. Yeah, they both don't win. Both win, or it's insinuated that one doesn't. Or you already know they're gonna have to team up to face something. Okay,
That's cool. I like that part.
so maybe here's the three fights: the beginning fight, which Kong wins; the second fight, which Godzilla wins; and then before the third fight, they team up to face a bigger threat. Because you know what I mean, like.
I would like that.
Because
I would like that.
one doesn't have to definitively win for me to be like, oh, this was cheated.
Right. I don't need it to be like half-assed. Just have them fight, have each person get their licks in, and then like continue the story.
Did someone get nerfed though? Like, is King Kong bigger or something?
Somebody kept saying that he was bigger, but I think if you're looking at the Jack Black King Kong, that's not the same as the one where Samuel L. Jackson was in.
Yeah. So this Kong is bigger than that.
Yes, because Jack Black King Kong died.
From bullets and stuff.
Right. We're not putting him up against Godzilla, bro.
Yeah. I
That's
was gonna
not
say,
fair.
like, if it's the Jack Black King Kong, I'm sorry, Kong.
Nah,
sorry,
this is a
dude.
wrap. I'm taking this off. Hold on,
Yeah.
just in case. Hold on.
But if it's this new one, he's bigger. He's about the same size almost, right? Or
Right,
he's
but he was also out in he was on an island. So this one, it looks like they took that same Kong and took him off the island. Looks bigger, looks stronger. I remember them fights. He was smacking something until it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Okay, it's gonna be great. I'm really happy about this.
I got money on Godzilla, bro.
Hey man, we can have a gentleman's bet. Y'all can too. I mean, I don't
Comment
know.
below, dude. Who's winning?
Let's call it what it is, man. Godzilla, King Kong, King Kong.
I think, hey, like I said, if it's Kong from the Jack Black movie, no. Or if it's Kong from the game where he throws the barrels at Mario, he might win.
I'm gonna be honest though.
He might win.
Never seen either one of the Godzilla movies. Seen the old ones, not the new ones. And you
Yeah, I'm
watch
not gonna lie. I didn't see any of the new ones either, so I don't know if
them. You watched
this.
King Kong?
Well, I saw Skull Island.
Okay.
Okay, and I saw a little bit of the first King Kong one. No, sorry. I saw a little bit of the first Godzilla one.
Okay. Yeah. See, I need to
But
watch
for me,
Godzilla's.
I'm just like, I was like, it's just one of those shticks.
And the dude got a weapon.
We're gonna see, bro. We're gonna see. Before we end tonight off, guys, I want to say thank you for tuning in like you guys always do.
Tune in.
A lot of you guys are showing really good support lately, so I really appreciate it.
Please hit that like button, please. Just if you
Comment
made it
below,
through.
guys. Catch us on
Anything you want?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff, man.
Right.
And yeah, guys, thank Ricky for coming because
Hey, man,
I love when he shows up, bro. So
I appreciate them having me, y'all. Man, check that Mellow 15 out. That honestly, it comes easier than this Say What's Real is. It's a little longer, we know you guys don't want to hear my voice all day, you know what I'm saying? They like you.
we were jam-packed this episode, though. So
Hey, this was some more, not entertainment-wise, but just a little different.
I feel like this is a good-ass episode.
Hey, it worked
Yeah.
for me. I like this one. But yeah, man, thanks for putting me on those movies, too.
Yeah, of
Appreciate it,
course,
bro.
but when you watch Above Majestic, just let me know how you feel, man.
Yeah, man. Maybe for the next one.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Till next time, guys.